Alright, it's the next morning. We have our beer stored in a dark, cool basement. It's about 65 degrees on the floor, which is ideal for yeast fermentation in ale beers, which is what we're brewing. So I believe we have some fermentation already, and let's check it out. There's our bucket. There's our airlock, and as you can see, the yeast are doing their job. All that excess gas from the fermentation is coming out. It's a very hoppy aroma coming out of there. It smells great, but I don't suspect the brown ale that we're brewing to be a very hoppy beer. But you never know. So we're just going to let this sit for the next 3, 4, 5 days. Wait until this fermentation process comes to a halt, and then we'll be ready to bottle. So before we add our beer to our bottling bucket, we're going to add the priming sugar that we've mixed with a cup of water. We brought it to a boil. When this mixes with our beer, that's the food for our yeast while in the bottles. They will eat that and produce the CO2 that carbonates our beer. So I'll add this. Now we're going to go ahead and use this auto siphon. Make sure that ends in the bucket. You can see it start to pour in pretty steadily. Make sure it's going through our strainer. And we are transferring our beer. Quick note, make sure your nozzle on your bottling bucket is closed. Mine was just open and I let out a little bit of beer onto the floor. Another quick tip is have a towel under your bottling bucket, which I do. That probably saved me a nice little mess. Good thing to note too, when you're done transferring your beer and done bottling, just go ahead and sanitize your fermentator. Go ahead and sanitize your primary fermenter right away, just so it's clean for your next batch of beer and you don't have to worry about it then. Alright, so we've finished our transfer process. We've siphoned our beer from our primary fermenter to our bottling bucket. I had to move the primary fermenter into the sink because it was a little too high and the tube was flying everywhere. But we have accomplished our goal, and I will show you what everything looks like. Here's our primary fermenter inside. You can see all that nasty sediment on the bottom. It's yeast and hops and all that kind of stuff. And then here is our bottling bucket with our beer. You can see what that little screen filtered out. Just stuff you don't want in your beer. But everything's looking good and smelling good. And now it's time to bottle. Hey everybody, we've finally got our beer transferred to our bottling bucket. We have it up here on the counter. We have our tube attached to the nozzle on the bucket, and we have our bottling tube attached to that. This little black end, you're going to push that to the base of the bottle. That'll release the fluid, and I'll go ahead and do a few for you. You're going to keep it held down until the beer comes to the top of the bottle, and then you'll remove the tube, and that'll create the perfect amount of headspace. You can see that recedes nicely there. I already did that one. Do one more, and then I'll show you how we cap them. tube out, and it's perfect. I'm going to take a bottle and just set this tube in it for now. I'll show you how to bottle or cap. Turn this off. There we go. Alright. So we have our bottle capper. We have our caps in the warm water, the sterile water. We'll just take one out of there, put it on top. You can see you just match the cap up with that circle and just push down and it does the rest. Voila, we have a bottled beer. I'll do a couple more here for you. Beautiful. Last one. Beautiful. So we're going to do the rest of the 50 beers about that we have. It's a pretty tedious, time-consuming process, but it's well worth it. We just finished bottling our brown ale. Here's the finished product. Our batch yielded us 49 beers. Pretty good for a standard homebrew ingredient kit. This whole process has been pretty easy and smooth flowing. I hope you learned something from everything that I've taught you. We had no major mishaps, no boilovers. Had a couple little spills here or there, but nothing big. But now, with our beer bottled and our yeast eating that sugar, we just got to wait for about a week until these beers are fully carbonated. When a week from now, I'm going to crack one bottle open and hopefully it's fully carbonated. You'll hear the psst sound, and then you'll know the rest of them are good to go. And at that point, you can give them away to your friends, keep them for yourself, do whatever. But in the meantime, cheers, and I can't think of anything better to do but have a beer while we wait.